The story begins. In the heart of a dense forest stood Pinewood Camp, a place of serenity and adventure. It was a favorite spot for families and scouts alike, with its wide open spaces and the soothing sounds of nature. One summer night, a group of friends, Anna, Mark, and Lisa, decided to camp out there, seeking a break from their busy city lives. As dusk fell, they set up their tent near a large, gnarled oak tree, its twisted branches casting eerie shadows across the ground. They built a campfire and settled in, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories. The night was clear, and the only sounds were the crackling fire and the occasional hoot of an owl. When the fire began to die down, Mark suggested they play a game to pass the time. Lisa suggested a game of truth or dare. The game went on with laughs and lighthearted dares until Anna, feeling a bit uneasy, dared Mark to go alone into the forest and find a hidden landmark she had heard about from a local ranger. The landmark was rumored to be an old, forgotten chapel, long abandoned and hidden deep within the woods. Mark, always the adventurous one, accepted the dare and ventured into the darkness. With only a flashlight and a sense of bravado, the friends watched as he disappeared into the trees, their laughter fading into nervous silence. Time passed, and the shadows around the campfire grew longer. An hour later, Mark hadn't returned. The group grew anxious. Lisa and Anna decided to look for him, taking flashlights and calling out his name. The forest, which had seemed so inviting earlier, now felt oppressive and foreboding. The shadows between the trees seemed to move, whispering secrets of the night. After searching for what felt like an eternity, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood the old chapel, its structure partially hidden by overgrowth. The walls were cracked, and the roof was missing tiles. The place exuded a chilling aura. They cautiously approached and shone their flashlights inside. The chapel was empty, save for an old, dusty altar and a few scattered pews. There were strange markings on the walls, symbols that neither Lisa nor Anna recognized. Then, they heard a noise, soft, dragging footsteps coming from behind them. Turning quickly, they saw Mark standing at the edge of the clearing, his face pale and eyes wide with fear. He didn't say a word. He simply stared at them, his body trembling. The friends rushed over to him, asking what had happened. Mark finally spoke, his voice barely a whisper. He had found the chapel, but inside, he had seen shadows moving on their own. The shadows seemed to be alive, writhing and whispering in a language he couldn't understand. They had begun to reach out toward him, and he had run. As he finished speaking, the air around them grew colder, and a deep, guttural whisper echoed through the clearing. The friends looked around, their flashlights flickering. They saw the shadows on the walls of the chapel stretching and contorting, forming grotesque shapes. Panic set in, and they ran back to their camp, stumbling through the dark forest, their breaths ragged. When they finally reached the safety of their campsite, they packed up quickly, not daring to look back. As they drove away, the dark forest loomed behind them, and the shadows of Pinewood Camp seemed to watch their departure, holding onto the secrets of the old chapel and the souls who dared to uncover them. Hope you enjoyed the story.